Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you guys could join us once again. For those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, where that you all can be with us, going to connect with our friends over on IG, so they can be part of our live broadcast. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. I am very much looking forward to today's show. Our next guest is someone I've spoken with several times on our radio show Conversations Live, which is making your first on-camera appearance with us on our show Cyrus Ware Presents. So I'm very excited about that. And we're now live on Amazon Live with Cyrus Ware Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. I'm going to type you guys a quick welcome message over there. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You see it either here in this corner or down below. You also will see the book by my next guest. I'm so excited to welcome lifestyle expert and Amazon bestselling author Valerie Greenberg to our broadcast today. We're going to talk to her about the book. You guys can see here, You've Been Validated, a great title for sure. And the subtitle of the book is also going to be important for our conversation as well. A playbook for confidence and connection. We're going to talk to Valerie not only about how those two things has helped her in her own journey, but how she hopes is able to be able to help you as well as you're pursuing your own goals and dreams. If you guys are not staying connected with Valerie, we'll let you guys know how to do that. But Valerie, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Cyrus, I am so happy to be here with you. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to work together on different trending and lifestyle segments, but to sit down here with you, like as a published author, and you've been just so supportive. I was telling you even before we logged on, I'm impressed by you, and I'm so honored to be here to chat and to collaborate and to share the message of the book. You've been validated.
Well, thank you for that. I should mention for our Amazon audience, you guys know in our book club, Valerie's book is our book club selection for the month of November. So definitely make sure you guys get it. And you will notice it is on sale right now. You guys can get it on sale right now. Both the print edition and the Kindle edition are both on sale. Make sure you guys take advantage of that for sure. Valerie, I was saying to you before we went on here, and as you just mentioned, we've had some great conversations on the radio show about something that has nothing to do with you. About different products and services. What has it been like for you now to have the spotlight on you and to be talking about your own book?
Well, Cyrus, this is all true, everything that you just mentioned. So it is literally the most fulfilling feeling to be able to talk about my own creation because of the fact that it was cathartic. There was such a learning curve. And honestly, all of these things that we do get us to where we're supposed to be. And so all of the segments that I do that are trend roundups or, get the celeb look, that kind of thing, it's so much fun and it's always great to be in the know. And I love doing that. But to be able to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart that I'm so passionate about, which is building a confidence community, enhancing your networking skills, and truly just being your own best friend and recognizing that the only stamp of approval you need is your own, hence you've been validated, is like the most incredibly amazing feeling. I mean, this is why I am doing it, so that I can sit down with people like you to share this message, to hopefully inspire people to recognize that regardless of what your circumstances are, where you come from, you can actually achieve whatever your dreams and goals are. And within the material, as you read, I talk a little bit about my upbringing because I want people to recognize and be inspired by the fact that, again, where you come from does not necessarily mean what you can accomplish. And it's just really exciting to be here with you and to share this message.
Look, I'm excited about it as well. And let's talk about the title, because when you were on a segment with me on the radio show, Valerie, when I was prepping for that segment, I was on your Instagram and saw about the book. That's when I saw the book available for pre-order. I love the fact that once I got into the book, and I hope our audience gets this big point, you've been validated. I love the point that you make in the book that this is not an external thing. It all begins inside. And a
Yes.
lot of times, and that in itself, I think is going to liberate a lot of people, Valerie, because they're looking for other people to validate them. They're looking for a job to validate them or a certain status. When did you realize that it really was an inside job?
Well, it's interesting because my mom, she always knew that I was, that perfectionist from a very early on in my life. She said, "You don't have to get on I'm not going to get on top of you because I know that you're going to beat yourself up if you're not doing something to perfection." And my teacher, my elementary school teacher told her, because I was a nervous kid and I always wanted to make sure that everything just was as good as it could possibly be whenever I was working on a project or trying to, you know, get a good grade, whatever it may be. But here's the thing. We always are so good at tearing ourselves down, but if we put that much effort into building ourselves up, that's sort of it's been a practice for me. And what I've realized is that instead of worrying or thinking about the outside noise, proving to myself time and time again what I am capable of and seeing every small accomplishment as something really big, that got me to where I am now. Because something as simple as sitting down with somebody like yourself who's so incredible and allowing me to spread this message, that's like a huge accomplishment. That's another step in the right direction for me achieving my goals. And if I don't look so far ahead in the future and I'm sitting here right now and pat myself on the back for that, that's all the validation that I need. I don't need other people to say, wow, great job. You did amazing. Like, it really comes from within. And when you see that your inner shine and your aura affect other people, everybody wants to be a part of that high vibrational energy. That's certainly, you'll see as you start to exude that type of energy and confidence from within, you'll see how it's taken in by other people and respected and valued.
Such a great point. Moses Maddox, hello to you from Ohio. He says hello to you as well over
Hi,
there on
Moses.
IG. Um, Also, have Michael Martin here in Mississippi. Hello to you, Michael. Good to see you. The Real Lady Extreme, also from Ohio, says she is so encouraging. Yes, she is, Real Lady Extreme. She is
So
very
sweet.
encouraging. Yes, so make sure you guys are following her over there on IG as well. And of course, getting the book, it's on sale right now. Perfect time, not only for yourself, but also as a great gift as well. When you were talking just now, Valerie, I wasn't planning on reading this part, but when you were talking just now, it reminded me of something you wrote in chapter 5 of the book. And it's the chapter is Tenacity Talks. You say this, and I thought it was such a powerful thing, and it's great for our audience to think about. For those who have the paperback, it's on page 75. You said the ability to live your life loving what you do around people that challenge you and help you grow on a daily basis is a privilege and takes hard work and determination. This is where tenacity comes into play, why it is so important to highlight. If you live tenaciously, only you can get in the way of your goals and your purpose. I think that the reason why I thought of that as you were talking, because again, there were certain things about you already that was recognized, right? And now you're able to amplify those things. Talk to us about that for our audience, because a lot of times they will look at themselves and say, you know what? I don't have what it takes, or someone told me I don't have it. What do you want them to know about the importance, Valerie, of being tenacious, but also not allowing other things to stop them from the purpose that's meant for them?
So this is something that's so personal to me because my journey, becoming a television personality and having moved to New York, has not been linear like most of us in life that really want to, achieve big dreams and goals. And there have been a lot of hard times, but regardless of those hard times and sometimes the attitude that was negative that I brought into the fold, that was not helpful. It was recognizing that if I didn't stop and I kept going, or as I say, keep glowing, the people around me that I wanted to garner respect from in my work environment, that was really applauded and it was seen. So yes, while our only stamp of approval does come from within, people around you, when they see you keep going, like I can't even believe it. I sat down with a casting director about a month ago who I was always in admiration of and just wanted to get in front of for 5 minutes. And watching how she was so enthused with the fact that I wrote a book on this very subject matter, I was like, in awe of this because this was someone that I dreamed about being in a room with. And now she's a peer, a friend, and someone that respects me wholeheartedly. I mean, she always respected me, but to see yourself evolve in a space because you live tenaciously, meaning you just keep going no matter how hard things are, you find a way to get to where you are supposed to be. And like, I'll give you another example. Last week I moderated. I want to tell all of your viewers, you guys are ready. If you are putting in the work, if you are doing the research, if you are working on yourself and your craft, when the opportunity presents itself, you are ready. And you need to look in the mirror and tell yourself that. I had the opportunity to moderate a panel at the Paley Center that's been around for 50 years. They preserve media here in Manhattan. I sat down with Trisha Yearwood, and I got a call 2 days before to do it. And guess what?
Wow.
My peer, the person that was in charge of programming, knew that I would be capable of doing this because she's seen the work that I have done over the years. It doesn't matter how many no's that you receive. It matters on the nods that come your way, meaning the vertical head shake instead of a horizontal one, the people that say yes to you, all of the work that you are putting in now, regardless of what playing field you think you're in, will get you to that bigger stage. You just have to keep believing and have to keep living tenaciously.
I love that. And that brings up another point you and I were talking about before we went live, because Valerie and I had a great conversation before this conversation. And one of the things we
Yes,
were
we
talking
did.
about that you mentioned in the book, and I hope our audience gets this point too, about the importance of the attitude of gratitude and kindness. And even though we live in a world that would make you think that that shows a sign of weakness, and that that does not show strength, Valerie talks about in her own life how just by being that person who's able to not only be confident but also kind has seen the ripple effect of that, not only in her family and friends, but also, as you just mentioned, Valerie, in the workplace. Talk to us about that and what that conversation has been like when it comes to the book, about the importance of not only putting your best self forward, but also leading with kindness and consideration for others.
Well, you're just so beautifully well spoken, Cyrus. So I just want to say thank you for all of these really thoughtful points that you're making on behalf of the book. So you're amazing. But what I want to say is truly, I believe that so many people thought that, working from a transactional standpoint is the way to get ahead. And that is just not the situation at all. When you lead with heart, when you lead with passion, that aura is felt by those around you and the people that you want to respect you and that you value. And I truly believe that there's so much power in always authentically being yourself, regardless of what room you're in, regardless of what person that you're around, whether you're in a room with someone who is cleaning the toilets or in a room with somebody who is a self-made billionaire. I believe that character is currency. And when you show up in that fashion, that is what is truly valued. And I just, there's just something to be said of always being yourself and always being real and always being open and honest. And vulnerability is a power. And when you show up that way, are real, that's how you connect even deeper and relationships are nurtured even further. Like Cyrus, look at you and I now, right? We're coworkers and we would only, speak, on, every 6 months when I'd come on and do a media tour. But now I've had the honor of getting to know you a little bit more. And I'm so excited to explore our friendship and our work relationship even more because of the fact that you were just so genuinely interested in this topic. And you just showed up. You didn't say, oh, Val, like I'm going to do this for Valerie. So that hopefully X, Y, and Z. Like, no, it's just like because of the fact that you're sharing so genuinely on your forum and giving me a voice, it's like, I want to get to know you more because you're a great human being, period. That is what shows people. That's what people want to see.
I appreciate that, and I feel the same way about you, Valerie. And to that point, I do want to bring up we had. I appreciate you guys over there on YouTube as well. If you guys have any questions or comments for Valerie, put those in the chat. But the Relay Extreme was mentioning your quote, "Keep glowing" is an amazing quote, and
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And I think it is one of those things, Valerie, that you're getting people to remember what many of us grew up being taught, but the world will try to take away from us. And that
Hmm.
is that my great grandmother used to say, it's just nice to be nice. That a lot of people don't see that value today, but
Right.
it is true, right? It is just nice to be nice, and knowing that great things can come from that. I want to reset real quick, Valerie, and say for our audience, and I appreciate you guys over on the Amazon side as well. For those of you who are tuning in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Web Presents. I have the privilege of welcoming Valerie Greenberg to our broadcast today. She's a lifestyle expert and Amazon best-selling author. Her book is here on Amazon on sale. You've been validated, and I want to reference the subtitle again, Valerie, a playbook for confidence and connection. I should mention one thing that Valerie does is not just share her own personal experiences. You also take on the role of interviewer in this as well, Valerie, and interview some great people, including a mutual friend, Bevy Smith, is in the book as well.
Yes. Our
What
Bevy, we love her.
what was that like for you to hear from others about their own path and what they've done, and the result of showing the importance of being validated?
So when I started writing this book, I thought, I mean, it was a long process, obviously,
Hmm.
but I thought that it was really important to have an interactive component.
Hmm.
And I want to encourage all of the readers and all of my readers to build a confidence community. And that's what the
Hmm.
term that I coined, and how I refer to my contributors in the book, because
Mhm.
there is not a limit to how many people can be in your confidence community. These are
Yeah.
the people that lift you up. These are the people that get real with you and challenge you. These are the people in your inner circle that inspire you and that encourage you. And that's exactly what I did. So I assembled a list of really inspiring people in my personal life from all walks of life, that happen to be pretty exceptional, I would say, even by society standards.
Mhm.
Everybody from, you were saying, Bevy Smith, who is an amazing entrepreneur, television personality, author of Bevelations, and a dear friend. I mean, I have a ton of reality stars in the book, Dr. Pimple
Mhm.
Popper and my friend Countess Luann. I've got, 80s icon Taylor Dane, who's one of my best friends. And I have athletes, and I also have a psychotherapist in the book, because I thought it was important to touch on, how our mental health is also, a part of uh, the importance in life. It's just a huge thing. And we have hard days. And I just want, this book is like, I'm your cheerleader, and I want you to become your own
Yeah.
cheerleader. It's like you're having a conversation with me, because I lead my life as a natural born extrovert, cheering
Mhm.
people on. And I think that's why so many incredible people that are friends of mine were so open to lending their voice to me. And these are the people that I look to when I, am having a bad day. And I say, look, so many people said Countess Luann couldn't be a cabaret star, and ha ha ha, let's laugh in their face, because now she's an international cabaret superstar. Like,
Mhm.
you can't listen to the naysayers. You have to focus on the people that cheer you on, and first and foremost, cheer yourself on. And it's how I lead my life, and why I wanted to write a book about this.
And I think it goes to the point I mentioned to you before we went live here, Valerie. I wanted to share from chapter 4 of the book.
Yes.
Develop your secret formula, bringing forth your superpower. One thing that this book really does show, and this is something I've definitely learned in my life. I didn't know it growing up because I wasn't taught it, and that was success is personal, and that I shouldn't expect my journey to look like your journey or anyone else's journey. All of our journey will be different, but it doesn't mean that we can't get the desired result that we want. You say in the book, on page 59, for those who have the paperback edition of the book, as you're talking about yourself and your life.
Mhm.
You say about this chapter, you say this chapter is all about celebrating who we are and where we come from, regardless of our circumstances. Use them as fuel to conquer insecurity and hone in on your strength. It is important to note that not everyone around you will appreciate your shine and value, and that is okay, since it's not your job to convince them.
Right.
Focusing on ways to discover who we are and where we really excel should be applauded. I want to talk about that. What has helped you to have that tunnel vision, Valerie, and to stay focused on your own race and journey?
Well, like anything else, it's not linear. Sometimes we all like get astray, myself included, because there's so many voices and ways to consume media and just look at, what's going on outside in the world. But when we really do take a moment and reflect, and I've done a lot of therapy over the years, and this book was super cathartic. I learned about myself. And when we set out to do that, but not overthink or judge how we became who we are today, and we just, have a curious mindset as to where we are and why we're here, that's really powerful. And that's really something that that's a way of being productive. I'll tell you that, because
Right.
it's um it's cathartic and it's healing and it's important, and it's something that we should prioritize. And when I was writing this book, I knew that it was important for me to tell people where I came from, so that they could understand that I didn't have everything handed to me on a silver platter. And by the way, if you do, that's okay. This book is still for you. You just have to
Yeah.
show up and put in the work like anyone else, and that will still be respected and valued. But I wanted to show people that, because of the fact that, I looked back and I said, I was bullied. Maybe that's why I want to make sure everybody is included. And maybe that's why I want to make sure I cheer people on and help them recognize that they're special. And so that's how, this is me leaning into my superpower. And look at that. Like, I'm not good with numbers. I'm not a professional chef. I'm not a professional organizer when I go on television. But who am I? I am the connector. I am somebody who is really great at meeting new people, nurturing relationships, and helping others get connected. And I said, why don't I write a guidebook to help others take whatever they want from this book and incorporate it into their own lives how they see fit? And I'm so excited if there's any takeaways. And I just, we really are all special.
Yeah.
And again, it's really just like seriously looking at yourself in the mirror and giving yourself credit for where you shine, because you shine in places I don't. And that's where it's important to have all different types of friends so that you can have people with different attributes that bring different sides of you out.
Yeah. Valerie, in this conversation twice now, I've noticed that you've mentioned about the journey not being linear. So I
Hmm.
want to ask you this question about the title, You've Been Validated, because it's, even though we talked about in the beginning of the conversation about this is an inside job, I think we also have to remind ourselves of that because the world, what the world will try to tell us.
Hmm.
What helps you to remind yourself of your own validation?
Well, we have to stop and focus. And we have to be intentional about setting aside a few minutes a day, regardless of how busy we get, to
Yeah.
really focus on the few good things that happened, even in a world of chaos.
Mhm.
And that's something that we have to make time for. And we have to, even the smallest moments. And I talk about that in the book. It's like from smelling your coffee to like that really good stretch in the morning, or like taking a few minutes to like massage that moisturizer on your face. Like we race through so many things, and myself included, because I'm a naturally fast paced person.
Yeah.
But when we take that moment for self care, like even today, I fit in a 2 mile run, regardless of how busy I was, because my thoughts were still like, oh my God, am I going to have enough time to do this? And I really want to show up for my interview with Cyrus's show today. But I knew that I needed to get those. It might not have been a 10 mile run, but guess what? 2 miles is enough. 2 miles, I should clap and cheer myself on. And deciding to focus on the glass half full will really shift your whole mindset. I'm not in control that it becomes dark at 4:30 in the afternoon, but I am in control of how I show up to all of my, engagements, and to what
Mhm.
I commit to.
Yeah.
And that's really important. And if I do that with an open heart and a great attitude, that is the aura that, that positive aura, that, that energy that people want to be a part of. Again, it's impactful.
So true. So true. Michael Clinton, hello to you over there on IG. Michael Martin on IG says character is currency. So true. That is
Yes.
so true. Damon, I am hello to you. And again, I appreciate you guys over there as well. Appreciate the hearts over there on YouTube as well. There's one other thing, again, I hadn't planned on reading this either, Valerie, but what you just said brought it to my mind because we mentioned earlier about Baby Smith has the revelations. You have your vows evaluations
Yes.
in the
Cute,
book.
right?
Yeah, and one of them is on the hard days. If you don't mind, I want to read this because I think this will speak to people again about how they can be able to make the most of the day, but also not to be afraid of reaching out when needed. You say that, and this is
Yes.
on page 133 for those who have the print edition. You say, we are all going to experience letdowns in life. It is helpful to remember that emotions are fleeting, especially during the low moments. And it ties into what you were just saying, Valerie. Mental health, stress, and anxiety are factors that can play significant roles during hard days. It is important to try to handle these challenges with grace and dignity, which is healthier for us in the end. Don't be afraid to ask others for help. That is a strength and not a weakness. I thought
Mhm.
about that as you were talking because you mentioned therapy. You mentioned how therapeutic this book was. What do
Mhm.
you hope it's able to do for others, Valerie, in realizing their own strengths and leaning into that instead of focusing on what they see as weaknesses?
Well, I want people to be okay with feeling bad for a few moments. Feel those feelings. And I used to be, and I say this in the book too, I used to like be more scared of feeling the feelings and than what the actual feelings were themselves. So recognize that it's normal. And then ask yourself, and they say this in therapy, like be curious why you're having these feelings. And then take a deep breath and say to yourself, I'm going to put that in the rear view for now. Okay. I'm not going to, I felt it. And now I'm going to choose to move forward. And I'm going to choose to realign my thoughts with all the good things and the good people around me and all the greatness that I bring to this world. There's no right or wrong slogan or mantra. Create what works for you, but realize that if you are having those low moments, it's okay to feel them and it's totally normal. Not every moment is going to be amazing. And also, I also want people to realize you got to take that personal stuff out of the equation sometimes, because you could be waiting back on a response or be really excited about a potential opportunity or like a job that you apply for. There's so many different scenarios that this applies to. And then you hear the word no, and that hits hard. But guess what? if you hear the word no, realize that has nothing to do with your superpowers or what you're capable of. It just has to do with that situation. So remove that personal feeling out of it and just keep going. And just know that the stars will align if you keep moving forward.
Such a great reminder and such a great conversation with you, Valerie. Again, everyone, Valerie Greenberg has been our guest. She's a lifestyle expert and best-selling author of the book you guys can see here that you can get for yourself. You've Been Validated, a playbook for confidence and connection. It's available right now here on Amazon in its different forms on sale. Perfect gift for yourself, but also for others as well. Valerie, I really appreciate you taking out the time to be a part of our conversation. As I mentioned, we chose your book as our book club selection for November because I thought it was a great book for people to reset after what's been a challenging year for a lot of people, but also to remind themselves of who they are and who they can still be. So I want to thank you for being so transparent in the book, but also giving people this guide. How can they stay connected with you, Valerie?
Cyrus, I just want to thank you so much for your time. You're incredible. Please do follow me on Instagram at Val Greenberg. Go to my website, you'vebeenvalidated.com, and sign up for my newsletters. And be sure to grab the book. And I'm also on TikTok at The Real Val Greenberg.
There you go. Well, Valerie, definitely looking forward to our next chat together. Thanks again for stopping by.
You've been validated because the only stamp of approval that matters is your own. You're amazing, Cyrus Webb.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.